The UN Security Council has the primary responsibility of maintaining international peace and security. The Council has largely remained unchanged since 1946, which has seen most leaders call for reforms. During today's session at the UN General Assembly, President Uhuru Kenyatta strongly petitioned for Africa to have 2 permanent seats at the Council, which he said would bring about the much-needed balance and proper representation.
The clearest sign that change is real will be in reforms to the membership of the UN Security Council. Kenya joins in the demand for 2 permanent seats for Africa with the rights and prerogatives of current members, including the right of veto, as well as additional non-permanent seats.
The president also decried the inadequate support from the international community in regional peacekeeping efforts, saying that while Kenya appreciates all her partners, especially in the missions in Somalia and South Sudan, the contribution from the global community has not been good enough.
We have consistently sought for the international support that is commensurate with the threat scenario, including in the form of enablers and force multipliers. These have not been forthcoming.
The head of state expressed his concern over weak governance systems globally, which he says have been exploited by a few for personal gain, creating a lack of trust, which is opening a dangerous gap between citizens and their institutions as they demand for accountability.
Every illicit dollar that leaves Africa goes somewhere, most often to where the rest of the money from tax evaders and criminals is hidden. Africa suffers as a result. But the irony is that what is done to Africa eventually is done to the rest of the world.
He said governments must address the broadening deficits in fairness, inclusivity, corruption, populism, radicalization, civil strife, and political instability to deal with today's risks and problems, assuring that Kenya will play her part in the achievement of this agenda. It is the ever-increasing security threat across the world that is calling for a different approach, as well as an overhaul of how the UN Security Council operates. Kenya has made her move. Hopefully, all the other nations will back her up. Ruth Mutegi for Channel 1 at the UN headquarters in New York.